Hey guys, welcome back to Curse Films. My name's Katie.
I'm Ella.
And today we'll be reviewing The Bye Bye Man.
He's real. If you say his name, or even think it, he'll come for you.
Don't say it, don't think it.
What happened? You're gonna tell me, you know that?
Please don't make me say it. Don't say it, don't think it. If I tell you about him, you and your kids, you're all dead.
A house off campus with John Henry and a live-in girlfriend.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
What the hell is that?
What is it? There's something happening.
He's found us.
Who?
Don't think it, don't say it. The bye-bye man.
And the more you think about him, the closer he gets.
Hey, he's trying to get inside us. Jesus. He makes us see things. He makes us do things.
Don't say it, don't think it.
It spreads like a virus.
Don't say it, don't think it. It could spread everywhere.
I'm not gonna let it happen.
Please! Don't say it, don't think it. We have to help them.
No, it's a trick!
Don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it.
I'm afraid of putting this into your head.
Tell me.
Bye-bye, man.
Where do we start?
So, obviously, this movie's going to be stupid because of the name.
Yeah, the Bye Bye Man, for like the magnitude of the Bye Bye Man's like power, his presence, the fact that he can just make you go crazy and kill everyone around you for some reason. You'd think like his name is like an important part. You're not supposed to think it, you're not supposed to say it. And the name is Bye Bye Man? Like you couldn't think of anything cooler than that? Something more like demonic sounding,
Right.
something like actually scary.
Yeah, this movie's absolutely ridiculous. At no point is it scary at all. In fact, it's more so just laughable. The establishing shot for this film is so bad.
Yeah, from the first, like from the get-go, we know that this is not gonna be good.
Yeah, like it's obvious that the camera work isn't the best. It's not the worst I've seen out of all
Yeah.
the ones that we've reviewed so
Yeah.
far, but it just kind of seems like somebody fresh out of college filmed this, which is fine, you know, nothing wrong with it, but it's just very like technical shots, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Like-
definitely like, I know how to walk with the camera. Like, it's like, we know how to do these things. And not
Yeah.
like, we know how to do these things and make something of it. Like, they're just doing the shots because they can do them.
Exactly.
Like you said, it's definitely not the worst cinematography we've seen. Like Twilight, I think that was shot a lot more horribly than the Bye Bye Man was.
Definitely.
But like the acting for the Bye Bye Man, like I know Twilight, I was like, I think the acting's a little off just because the writing's bad. Well, in Bye Bye Man, the acting and the writing is bad.
It's terrible.
I don't know if it's like a combination of, I think it's a combination of bad directing, bad acting, and bad writing, which is like the whole movie, basically.
Yeah, like what else is there?
Yeah, it's like there's nothing left. It's just the rules of the Bye Bye Man never established. We don't really know how he started, what he really is, why he exists. We just know that there's like a nightstand and a coin, and he has a cloak and like a weird dog.
Yeah, it's like throughout the movie they just kept adding in lore but not connecting the lore, so it just didn't make sense. Like throughout the movie, like there were like coins dropping, and that was supposed to signify something about the Bye Bye Man.
Like he's near.
Like it's not
guess.
clear what it signifies, but it's just connected to him in some way. And then
they try explaining the lore through like the cliche like college kid or like the cliche like character is going and sitting down at the computer and they're typing into Google and like trying to research what they're dealing with, and it's really comical for Bye Bye Man because he just Googles the Bye Bye Man and it's like you're not
nothing
what's
comes
that
up.
gonna do? Yeah, so,
absolutely nothing comes up.
Yeah, they try conveying information that way and it's just not good. And then for bad writing, that's also part of like why like the rules don't make sense, because in the writing there's nothing to really like let us know anything about the Bye Bye Man or any of the other characters really. Like their conflicts feel very forced. Like the Bye Bye Man is convincing Elliot that his girlfriend is cheating on him with their roommate, and like they introduce that conflict and they just keep running with it, and they never really establish it in the first place. They never really do anything to heighten the stakes with it. It's just like there, and it's really awkward and clumsy. Like they just yell at each other, and like they deliver their lines really horribly, and the girl just sounds very monotone and brain dead.
Yeah, no, like it literally looks like the girl was lobotomized and then thrown onto a movie set.
Yeah, I think she was supposed to like look weak from living in like the Bye Bye Man house, or like by being near like the nightstand that the Bye Bye Man possessed. Like I don't know what's up with the nightstand, but I think she was supposed to look like drained and like sick from being around the Bye Bye Man's energy. But again, I think like the directing like must not have been like, it didn't come across to her like what she was supposed to do, so she was like, I'm gonna cough a lot and I'll talk like this for the whole movie.
The whole plot, like it begins with like them moving into a house, and like these are college kids moving into like a 2-story big house,
It's just
and it makes no sense. Literally, it's only 3 of them. And this isn't the only time we're shown college kids living in a house alone. Like there's another character, I believe her name's Kim. She's like the sidekick witch kind of spiritual person.
The token like goth spooky girl.
Yeah, basically. And she lives in this huge house too, and it's not like she lives with her parents or anything. Like I'm pretty sure they say that she has roommates too, but like what college kids can afford to rent out like 2-story houses that are like super old, have a lot of history to them? Like I just feel like it doesn't really make sense that they would live in houses. Like why not just put them in apartments? I feel like that would make a lot more sense.
And like they don't even need the house, because like the thing that like sets off the Bye Bye Man is this like nightstand that the last guy who was possessed by the Bye Bye Man owned. So like you don't even need anything, you just need the nightstand, you don't need the house.
Yeah, they're just throwing in a creepy house for no reason, because yeah, you're right, like it's the nightstand that connects it, and like originally the nightstand wasn't even at that house, it was at a different house, which is where like the guy who first like I guess heard about the Bye Bye Man like in like the 70s, he killed a bunch of people in like his neighborhood, and but yeah, it's not even like they're in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
it's a completely different
just
area.
The nightstand, and we don't really know like okay, his name's on it, but why does this happen?
Yeah.
And like the idea, like you're supposed to kill the people who know the name, so if you know Bye Bye Man, you're going to be affected by him. So like the first guy killed people who knew the name of Bye Bye Man, so you're not supposed to tell people. So that makes it hard for like Elliot and his girlfriend and his roommate. I don't even remember their names. Like they're such nondescript characters.
It was Elliot, Sasha, and John. But yeah, they were so, honestly, all the characters were so irrelevant, and except for Elliot, this was basically an Elliot movie.
Yeah, he's the only character that they tried to give like characterization for, and even then we get like some, like his parents died in a crash or something, and that's all we know.
It's not really touched on. It's just like, it's like a plot device so that he can believe that Kim is actually a sidekick. Yeah. And even then, like, he's so annoying when he finds out that Kim's a sidekick. He's like, I don't believe you, I don't believe you. And then he keeps trying to find ways for her to prove that she's a sidekick to him, but like, anytime she proves it, he just doesn't believe her. It's super annoying.
Speaking to like the fact that none of the characters are developed, it's really frustrating because I feel like this could have been a really cool concept, and I feel like you really could introduce a lot of like tense situations here. Like there's still like a feeling of like some tense darkness going on, just because of the fact that Elliot, like the Bye-Bye Man, it makes you see things that aren't there, that put you in danger. And again, it's like, okay, well, what does he make you do? Hallucinate? Does he make you kill people? Like, what's his deal? But like with the plot line of Elliot thinking Sasha and John are cheating, that could have been effective. Like, we could have seen, like, oh, maybe they've had suspicious behaviors before and that's why he's thinking this. Like, that's why the Bye-Bye Man is making him think that they're cheating. It's never established. Like, they just show up in this house and they're fine. We don't see enough of their lives before. We don't know anything about them before the Bye-Bye Man, like when they move in. So it's like we don't really care about the characters, and we also don't understand why they're behaving the way they do. Like, Elliot's just being a jerk at parties, and John's being like hypo macho man, and Sasha's like, I don't feel so good. And that's the whole movie. Like,
like, she coughs throughout the movie to show that she doesn't feel good, but like, it's the fakest coughs ever. Like, she's putting absolutely no effort into them.
We don't even know, like, what is he a ghost?
Yeah, is
like,
he a ghost? Is he just some sort of
what
demon?
Is he? Like, no one knows.
He has like a demonic dog with him that like...
Yeah, like a hellhound.
He looks like a raw piece in chicken.
Yeah, it looks like a chicken wing.
Well, actually, no, he looks more like raw beef.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also, there's that, like, door in the, in the house. And, like, they don't explain the door. There's just this tiny little door in Elliot and Sasha's
Coraline-esque door.
Yeah, and, like, the hellhound dog, like, comes out of it briefly. And they don't explain it ever. And,
yeah,
like,
it's just one of those little things that they just threw in just to add, like, creepy elements, but, like, they didn't, like, go through with it, so it gives us nothing. It's just another empty thing that was useless, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the one scene where I felt like, okay, they're getting somewhere. Elliot and Kim are in the car together. They get to a set of train tracks, and Kim thinks that there's a family, like, who's been hit by a train or something, or like they got into a car crash, and she's like, oh my god, we have to help them. And so Kim runs out of the car. Elliot's like, where are you going? And he like sees the bloody hammer in her purse, and he like grabs it and like starts running after her and is like, Kim, you're hallucinating. This is the Bye-Bye Man. Like, you're not seeing it. It's not real. And the police show up and they think that he was chasing her with the hammer. And like, that could have been interesting if we'd been more suspect of Elliot's character. Like, if we'd seen more like suspicious behavior, they really could have like played up how strange he was acting and how strangely his behavior could be interpreted. Like, we just didn't get any like time to sit with the effects of the Bye-Bye Man, I guess.
And they could have had us convinced that, oh, what if Elliot did do this?
Yeah.
But it was so clear, like, as a viewer, that he did not do this.
Yeah.
And it would have made a lot more sense and been a lot more tense if they would have just made us believe that, hey, maybe he did do this.
Yeah.
And that would have been an element. But it wasn't. And also, Kim gets hit by a train. Like,
yeah.
It was just... And, like, there's other, like, train imagery.
But we don't know why.
Yeah, we don't know why. Like, even at
Does
the end...
Bye-Bye Man, like, drive a train? Like,
right?
What's the deal with trains?
Like, at the end of the movie, like, when all this bad stuff happens, like, it looks like there's a train in the house. Like, the way that the lights are lighting up and the way it sounds like there's a train in the house. But it's like,
but why?
What? Does he travel along a train and kill people? Like,
there's no explanation for the train imagery. But yeah, like, that scene could have been so cool. And like, I see, and like, it's frustrating because it's like, I know what they were trying to accomplish. I don't know if they didn't have the facilities to accomplish this, if it was just like too much. I feel like there was just too many elements going on, like the coin, the nightstand, the Bye-Bye Man, the dog. Like, it was very ambitious. And probably like not a lot of budget, not a lot of like super experienced people who were able to like make it happen. And like, I watched this, like, the scene happen with the police and Elliot and chasing Kim, and I was like, this could have been so good. And like, that's the thing, because usually like with most bad movies, I'm like, okay, well, it was kind of doomed from the start. And not saying Bye-Bye Man isn't doomed, but like, they had something.
Yeah, I think for one thing, they could have changed the name.
Yeah.
It would have been better. But let's talk about the Bye-Bye Man in general. He looked terrible. He wasn't scary. He looked like he had went and got a Freddy Krueger costume from Spirit Halloween,
like the mask,
and put a black cloak over it and called it a day.
Yeah.
Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. Like, if you're gonna have a slasher type villain in the movie,
is he
make
even a
him
slasher
scary.
though? Like, he doesn't even like enact violence against them. He just shows up in the rooms and stands there.
Yeah. Like,
what does he do? Like,
absolutely nothing. And it's just like, there's just no reason for him to be coming around and doing these things either. Like, at least give him somewhat of a backstory. Not this stupid lore of, don't say it, don't think it. I mean, if they're thinking of the concept, like, isn't that the same thing?
it's like they're trying to push that they're, like, driven to insanity by the Bye-Bye Man, and it just comes off as really, like, flat and cliche, because I feel like we see this, like, manic scrawling on the wall type of character in horror film a lot. So it just felt kind of like a cheap grab at, like, okay, how can we show that these characters are being tormented without actually giving them characterization?
Yeah, which is basically what they do throughout the movie. We care nothing of these characters.
There's two black characters. There's John, and then there's the librarian lady. John plays the role of, like, ooh, sexy Mustang man, I'm gonna steal your girlfriend, very nefarious, which is frustrating. And then the other lady, she's a librarian who helps front load a lot of the information about the Bye-Bye Man.
And it's weird because she is like, she becomes like friends with Elliot in a way, like to the point where she like calls him in the middle of the night because she's freaking out over the Bye-Bye Man.
Like one scene with them, so it's like, why is she calling him?
Exactly.
It's like the weird, and then like she runs her over. I don't know. Her only point in the movie is to give Elliot information, and it's so frustrating. It's like, give her a character. Like, she could be cool. She could be more than just like this, like, oh, like comforting grandma, I give you information type of stereotype. Yeah, like, and they're like, just very stereotypical characters. They both got killed off. Like, they were the first people to like get injured or harmed in some way, and I'm like, oh, of course they did, because we care about Elliot, the little curly-haired, blue-eyed boy. Like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, and like, I don't know. I feel like they could have done more with the librarian, because like she really was like a major part to it. She was the one that was able to give Elliot all this information about the Bye-Bye Man. So like, I just feel like they could have made her into something more.
Yeah, like, what's her investment? Why does she know these things? Like,
exactly.
Does she read the dead files? Is she just as, and like the dead files, like that's where Elliot like finds the information in the library. She's like, here's all these files that were never, like all these articles that never made it to publication. And like, that's interesting. Like, she works there. She knows, it seems like she's been there longer than anyone else that he's talked to.
Of course, at the end, literally everybody dies. Elliot dies, Sasha dies. Yeah. Well, John's sort of alive at the end, but it's implied that he's about to die. And it's ridiculous too, because as they're wheeling him away, one of the police officers is trying to like get information from him, trying to figure out what happened. And the ambulance guy was like, oh, it's not gonna matter what he says. And it's like, this is a dying man's last words and you're saying they don't matter? Like, that's just ridiculous. Nobody would actually say that in that kind of situation. It's just rude. And then also, Elliot has this brother who is just like another character that's thrown in for no reason. Like,
it's supposed to be his like backstory.
Yeah, like his name's Virgil.
Do you remember his name?
Yeah, because I was like, what kind of name is Virgil?
Elliot and Virgil.
And then he has this daughter who is like, who comes up in the film a lot, and it's just like, these characters are absolutely pointless. But I guess like at the end, the daughter is sort of relevant because she finds 2 of the coins that the Bye-Bye Man dropped or
why does
sent
he have
there.
coins?
I don't get
Mario?
it.
Like, yeah. Sonic? Like, what's up with the coins?
And like, so I guess they were probably trying to leave it open for a second movie, but this movie did not do well at all. Surprisingly, this movie actually did pretty good in the box office, but that was also because like the budget for it was relatively low. Like, the budget was $7 million and they ended up making like $29 million, so that's pretty good, but the reviews were terrible.
Yeah, no, it's like 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, like 4.2 out of 10 on IMDb, like really horrible ratings.
Yeah, and I can imagine the reviews are probably something else.
I don't imagine there was any call or want for a sequel to Bye-Bye Man, so it's probably why they're like, oh, we're gonna leave it open, it's gonna be so good and so cool, everyone's gonna love this movie, we're not gonna get enough of it, and then it's like, oh, like no one actually liked the movie. And it's not a self-serious movie. Like, I've seen a lot worse horror films where like they're not even laughably funny. So at least there's a little bit of laughability here, but like, they really tried, I think.
And it's just like, it could have been a lot better if they just solely would have changed the name. Like, if they would have changed his name from the Bye Bye Man to something a little bit more sinister,
Yeah.
honestly, that would have given it
Because
more
I
of a leg
think
up.
before the movie even came out, people were like, Bye Bye Man. Like, the name is just, like, in and of itself giving... It's not a good leg to start on.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of, like, Boogeyman. Like, it doesn't sound scary. It just sounds like something a little kid would say.
Yeah.
But personally, I would probably give this movie a 1.5 out of 5 sales. What about you?
I don't know. I want to say like 2 out of 5. Like 1 for effort because they really tried, and another one because I laughed. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like no, like acting bad, cinematography bad, color correction horrible.
Oh yeah, it was very, very jumpy throughout the shots.
Nothing made sense, but at least I wasn't like it didn't feel like it was too long. Like I still was able to watch it. So
You know,
that's a good thing.
I might hop on board with the 2 out of 5 sales.
Yeah.
I think it's worth 2 out of 5 sales because, like you said, it was enjoyably bad.
Yeah.
It was no cats.
Yeah, no. Like I wasn't in pain and suffering at the end of Bye Bye Man.
All right, well that's all the time we have for today. But thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.